Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, we'll be talking about this upcoming fall blast of air. It's basically introducing fall to us early, but for those that like the warm weather, don't worry. Following this fall blast, there will still be warm weather, possibly even a heat wave. And more importantly, this cool down won't be cool for everyone. Portions across the western United States and southwestern Canada will be very, very warm. There also will be a very large, powerful autumn storm with this and a absolute firestorm of a bunch of monsoons across the southwest. So we have a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. So I want to start off by looking at the GFS. This is the model that has handled this cool down the best. It is better than the European in terms of recent events. I prefer it, and I want to start off with it. So notice that as I look through this GFS model, right now we're looking at 2-meter temperature anomalies. So I have been showing you the 2-meter temperature anomalies a lot these past few days in these videos because, again, that is the best way to detect cooldowns. It basically shows us where the temperatures are above average or below average. Below average into blue, above average into red and yellow. And note that right now we aren't really seeing any anomalies of grandeur across any portion of the United States, excluding the Southwest. The Southwest and Western United States are a little warmer, and that will continue to grow, unfortunately. But soon we'll be accompanied by a much larger cool down that will be bringing a lot more cool temperatures into the United States following this storm system. So right now, again, nothing, right? But notice that by Friday, there's bigger colors that are more blue across the Midwest into portions of Saskatchewan and Manitoba and Alberta, Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, into South Dakota. And do note that as I push this forward into Saturday and especially into Sunday, this thing really blossoms. And we have anomalies that are quite extensive, especially across this far north this time of the year. If you look at the 2-meter temperature shaded, this will be bringing 40s, potentially even some 30s across portions of western Ontario there. So really, really cool temperatures. And going back to these anomalies, you can see that they just absolutely pound through and go really far down south. Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia getting in on this cool weather by Tuesday and into Wednesday. And look, with the help of some cloud covers and shower from that monsoon activity, we actually see quite a bit of really dark anomalies really far south, resulting in colors and temperatures deep blue colors for the anomaly map, and then Fahrenheit readings that are in the 60s for the south. So really, really cool potentially. Again, whether or not it pans out exactly like this remains to be seen, but the models have been hinting at this quite consistently, especially the GFS. Note, during this time across the northwestern United States and southwestern Canada, it will be very, very warm. The areas across the east that won't really get as much of this are the extreme coastal areas of the Gulf, New England, and the peninsula of Florida. New England and the northeast and southeastern Canada, you will get in on some of it for a little bit, but it won't last for a long time. If you look across Florida, for example, you might not even get in on any of this. You will be probably warmer throughout most of this, if not closer to average. And then inversely, notice the northwest and southwestern Canada absolutely heating up to some incredible temperature readings. If you look at that 2-meter temperature shaded, they are seeing, this may not seem incredible to the folks that are used to, hundreds across the south, but they're going to be seeing 80s and 70s as far north as British Columbia, into Alberta, Canada, central areas, even northern areas. And that's going to be cooler than Arkansas, Tennessee, even Florida. It's going to be tied with Florida, right? So that is really, really powerful, and those are some really strong anomalies on the heat side. So let's now take a look at the European model and give it its fair shot at showing what it has to offer. Again, I don't think it's as accurate as the GFS model, but we want to show regardless because it's only fair. And so you can see that both models agree on this. This isn't just my bias. Notice as I push this forward, that cooldown really intensifies, really grows into something that, again, the GFS is very similar to in terms of showing, and it also digs very far into the south, shows some of those, again, pretty extreme anomalies across the south there, in terms of below average, 70s across the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. And then unfortunately also showing a lot of heat towards British Columbia, the northwest. So that, again, the models are definitely in agreement on. As I push this forward, you can see the European does continue to hold on to this cool weather through Thursday, Friday. But around this point, it starts dissipating the cool weather a little quicker than the GFS. So that's definitely one difference. And then do note that across British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Yesterday, a viewer pointed out to me which that I had the provinces mistaken, so I appreciate that. I will be getting better at that. I used to have them down, but I stopped making these weather videos and I lost that edge. But note that that heat is really going to be impressive there, so that's something to be watchful for. And yeah, by next Sunday of this, not this upcoming week, but the last Sunday of August, it will be pretty much gone, that cool down, and most likely some sort of heat will be replacing that. So we've been talking about the temperature side of things for a while now, and now I want to focus on a big fall-autumn storm that is indicated in the title. So again, right now there's nothing really present across the country that is of major concern. We do see some showers and storms beginning to erupt tomorrow, Friday, across the northern plains, and that is to do with that cold front tied in with this larger storm that you can see will begin to develop in a greater fashion, especially by late tomorrow and into Saturday. And you can see that this low pressure is pretty significant. It is rather large, and especially for this time of the year, it is relatively strong. So we get a very interesting setup here once we get this low pressure and this high pressure side by side. We essentially see this low pressure strengthen and spin into a pretty strong low pressure. And low pressures spin counterclockwise, so it's delivering winds from the north, right? And then we have a high pressure here that is spinning winds clockwise. And by doing so, it creates, as you can see, a very strong funnel of northerly winds that is going to be bringing in cool air, and this high pressure shifts to the south and east, which allows a lot of this cool air to extend very far towards the south, which normally at this time of the year would otherwise struggle. Also, though, because the high pressure is spinning clockwise, it's on the bottom of it, it's bringing up moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and causing all these monsoons to pop up throughout the duration of this event. So notice that this low pressure is, while it's doing its thing, spinning away, the high pressure digging in, we have a lot of monsoons that are developing, and a lot of showers, storms, I should say showers and storms, because monsoons are, it's kind of the improper word to use here, but notice again this high pressure, because of how strong it is and nestled at this point, doesn't move away for a while, and that causes a lot of this precipitation to stick around for a good while and cause almost daily flare-ups of activity and precipitation Thursday, Friday, only abating once that high pressure moves a little bit further eastward, which eventually it will. And then we have the precipitation moving further eastward with that, as it's not blocking those areas anymore. The last two things I want to show you are the 6 to 10 and the 8 to 14 day temperature outlooks and precipitation outlooks. Notice that for the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, a lot of the blue colors are still going to be present across a good portion of the United States. A lot of above average precipitation across the southwest, again to do with that monsoon area. And then across the Great Lakes, the northeast, we have very, very dry weather because of that high pressure. And again, on the bottom side of that high pressure, we have a lot of activity and moisture. On the top side of it, following that low pressure, not really much. Then we have the 8 to 14 day temperature and precipitation outlooks, and they are also very similar, as in the probabilities of the below average conditions are a little less, and same with the precipitation, naturally, because it's further out. So that's why the colors are lighter blue, not because of the intensity, it's the probability, it's based off probabilities. But it's across the same areas. You can see the southwestern United States, the south and northeast there, the above average precipitation. And then the cool, again, also across very similar areas, but we see more of that heat sneaking in towards the northwest there. And again, I believe that some of these colors will probably intensify as the heat intensifies and the confidence intensifies with that. So that's basically it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next episode. See ya. Bye.